Hey everyone, my name's Jason with the Landlord Launch, and we help landlords self-manage their property through providing on-demand training, live coaching, and support services. Today we are going to be hitting a question that I see a lot of, and that is something to the effect of, how do I decide who to accept rental applications from? So a common question is, I have 5 people looking at my home and they're all going to apply. How do I decide which one to pick? So I am going to tell you first come, first serve, and I'm going to say that with conditions as well. So one of the main reasons being is fair housing. Now, a lot of times with like the single family property owners and maybe people that are newer to the industry, we've all heard fair housing, but with my exposure to larger management companies and working in the multifamily industry, I've seen some of the real damage that can hit a landlord from fair housing complaints and the resulting suits. I'm talking, thousands, 15, 20, 30, 50, $100,000 in punitive damages. There's no cap on the punitive damages, by the way. So it's huge. And I think for most of us, we don't have to deal with it very often, especially the single family, but the testing agencies and the resources out there for tenants, things along those lines are really bringing people into more knowledge. And if nothing else, we just want to make sure that we're secure, that we're protected from that. And it's easy to do. We just have to be consistent. So that's why I say first come, first serve. And again, with some conditions, there's some things that we need to make happen. So I would say first and foremost, use a screening criteria. Now, a screening criteria does a lot of things. I mean, I have a lot of other videos on this. We won't get into it, but the screening criteria is going to be very important for this, because this is the place where you can outline what your criteria is for accepting an application. And so when I say first come, first serve with conditions, what I mean is set some standards. Say, okay, the first person that gives me a completed application is signed. For every adult that gives me, if there's 2 adults, that means both applications come in signed. Application fee is paid. That is who I'm going to take first. And then the application that comes in after that, with those criteria met, I'll take that one second. But of course, once you get that first one, start screening it. Another thing you could do if you wanted to is, I've seen some people charge either a holding fee or a half month's deposit or some more money to get them to have a little more skin in the game, basically. And what that serves as kind of a deterrent as well, so that you're dealing with a serious applicant if they're willing to put down $250, $500 on top of the application fee to reserve that home while you go through the screening process. Yeah, use a screening criteria. Make sure it's signed. I include it as part of the rental application packet. I'll give them the application. I have another thing called security deposit policy I use, but then I actually give a copy of that screening criteria with signatures on there, and I make them sign it. If you're using a digital application or using one of the services like Turbo Tenant or Avail, and using their application, you can actually build that into the front of their application so that when they submit that, then that becomes part of the application and they're agreeing to those terms on the screening criteria. And then I would also say, tell them what the criteria is. Tell them right there on the screening criteria, let them know, hey, a completed application is every adult, complete application signed, and an application fee paid. We will not process your application until this happens. Because what that does is it saves you from having to go through the battle of somebody say, yeah, but I turned my application in yesterday and you took this other person over me. And then making potential, accusations or coming up with different reasons in their own mind why that happened. So at least if you have this in writing, they've signed it, you can say, no, listen, this is my criteria. You did not pay the holding fee, so therefore I can't run your application. This other person came in, gave me everything I needed per the criteria, and so by the rules, for lack of better words, that's who I'm going to screen first. So just having that in writing, following that process, if that person were to go and file a fair housing complaint or whatever else, and an investigator were to come and say, hey, tell me about this situation, you would have their application, you would have the application screening criteria signed, you'd be able to prove when this other person paid, you'd be able to prove that other person did it, and it just keeps you out of trouble. It's just deterrent. That investigator's going to close the case and go away really quick. Trust me on that. So let's see here. Yeah, no, I think that's really about it. Is first come, first serve. use your rental screening criteria, and then just screen. If they're approved, awesome. You don't have to screen anymore. If they're not, give them their denial letter, tell them the reason for denial, and move on to the next application. So keeping it really fair, first come, first serve, and save you a whole lot of trouble down the line. So I hope this has been helpful. Oh, by the way, if you are interested in a copy of a screening criteria that you can use, just give me some comments down below. Let me know that you'd like one. I'll shoot it over a messenger. Again, no sales, no gimmicks, no sales page, anything like that. I'll just shoot it over to you. You can download it. You can alter it to meet your needs for your property and your business, and I hope that it helps. So again, if you have any questions, either leave comments, shoot message below, whatever works for you. Thank you once again for watching, and this is Jason with the Landlord Launch. We will see you next time.